Hello, I am Dylan from AGPC, and this is Dr. Reverend Gan.
Hi, Linen. Good to see you. And this is one of my youngest sheep in AGPC. Okay.
What's one defining moment about your faith journey?
Well, the one defining moment in my faith journey, if I can recall correctly, was the time when my dad confirmed God's calling of me into the full-time ministry. At that time, I was studying NUS, and my dad will always send me back on the long journey. So one Saturday night when he drove me back, I was in dilemma whether to tell him of my decision to go full-time. So I finally plucked up the courage and said, Dad, I think the Lord has called me into full-time and I would like to say yes. What do you think? At first I was very apprehensive. I thought he would be disappointed. He would say no. But to my surprise, he said, you know what he said? You are an answer to my prayer. I was speechless.
What's a worship song that has stayed with you over the years?
It is called In Christ Alone. I find this song so beautiful because if you look at the lyrics of all the four stanzas, in four stanzas it beautifully captures for us who Christ is, what He has done for us, the victory over death and the power over hell that you and I can have in Christ and Christ alone. Especially the last stanza where it says, till He returns or calls me home, here in the power of Christ I stand. I love this side. Whether He calls me home early or whether I remain here on earth, in His power we can stand alone. Yeah.
How did your parents or faith leaders model worship in everyday life? What did you learn from them?
Okay, like I mentioned earlier about my dad, he and my late mom would every night kneel down before their bedtime. They will always pray for all their 7 children. And one night, I happened to walk past their bedroom and I heard them uttering my name before the Lord our God. And that of kind like impacted me and touched me a lot. So I've since learned to be prayerful because I remember they shared with us that God answered their one very persistent prayer. You know what's a persistent prayer? They pray for all the 7 children. None of us would deviate from our faith. And today I must say all my siblings, including myself, we are all faithfully serving God, worshiping God, though in different churches. So since then I've been prayerful and following after my dad's footsteps. And I'll also kneel down when I pray.
What does it mean to live a life of worship that younger generations can follow?
Well, I think for leaders like us, it's very important. People look at us. It means what? Our behavior must always be in sync with our belief. If we claim to worship a holy God, we cannot and we must not continue living in unholy lifestyle. We must always walk our talk, lead with moral authority. Whatever we preach, we must practice. Yeah. Agree? Yeah.
What's something about worship that you would want to teach the next generation?
Worship must always be what pleases God and what is acceptable to God. Don't be creative or don't be contemporary just for the sake of being creative and contemporary. Be creative and contemporary for the sake of what? For the sake of God's glory. Remember what the Apostle Paul said in 1 Corinthians 10:31? Paul the Apostle reminds us, in all that we do all for the glory of God. So the songs that we choose, whether it's traditional song, contemporary song, it must all for one purpose, for the glory of God. Yeah.
How can we bridge the gap between generations so that we can worship together in unity?
Well, I must say that it has to start within the biological family, between parents and child. Your parents and you and your brother must learn to share a common altar at home before they can appreciate the beauty of sharing a common altar in church, right? If you don't know how to worship together at home, it will be tough for us to worship together in church together with other families of the church. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I believe that the church will be able to find a way
Yeah.
that will make the worship among the older and the younger generation more enjoyable for both.
Yeah. All right. So do you think that are we progressing toward that? Do you see that happening now in AGPC?
Definitely, like the sermons have been like more engaging for the younger generation, while the older generation seems to still be enjoying it.
Thank you so much, Lilian. So encouraged to hear that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.